ready to pregame, ready to hang out with Andy Lindahl and Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. And it is an honor to be able to do these types of pregame shows because that means the Denver Broncos are a mere 4 quarters, 60 minutes away from a return to Super Bowl 60. And today happens to be the 10-year anniversary of the last time that you got through this in Denver on a cold day against New England to punch your ticket.
Yeah, it's funny because, my job has changed. My station has changed. My role in broadcast have changed. And yet here I am
Still
doing
a good head of hair still, though.
Doing 2-hour pre-games before a Bronco game, just like the last time. Now they're coming in from the other angle. Yeah, we got people coming in all over the place. Everyone getting ready to party. Everyone getting ready to go, although that might be a lot of the staff here at Stoneys as they're getting ready to get people in the door, come on in, have a little breakfast with the Broncos is what we used to call this. Although we do have a Patriot fan running around, but I guess we won't hold it. There
we had some Bills fans we had to deal with last Friday's show, right?
Yeah.
There were quite a few of them. And apparently there are a lot of Patriots fans here in town.
I don't feel like we've seen as many, though. We were out there doing our thing Friday, right? And so, we didn't have too many Pats fans there. You know what? I love Bronco fans because they're going to make sure that the weather does not deter them at all. This game will be up there, and I can remember, I don't know, you wake up, you see the sun, right, Mike, and I'm like, well, maybe it won't be as cold today as they're predicting. And I can remember I was on the sideline for the Baltimore game, that ended in the Flacco fling and all that. That game was every bit as cold as they promised us it would be. That is what I remember about that. So, you know what? Bronco fans are hardy. They're ready to go. It's not going to affect the attendance one bit. We know that. Let me ask you this, and feel free, 303-504-0925. We got the text line up and running. Go ahead and throw your predictions in all day long. We'll jump on Twitch if you're on Twitch and YouTube and do your thing, and we'll try to take some of your predictions from there. By the way, just some programming notes before we kind of get into the meat of the show. I'm going to be here till the half. We're going to hang out. We're going to watch the game. We're going to give away some prizes at the half. But then I got to head up, and I do have to get into Mike Sanford gear as we all are doing the Mile High post-game live.
I don't know I've ever witnessed
we'll see.
Knotted.
I don't know if I'm going to go full suit and tie.
I think you need to go knotted, man.
We'll see. I did that last night for the Mammoth for my 30 seconds of TV.
There we go.
So
I mean,
we're on camera for all of 30 seconds, and then we call a game for 2 hours.
How'd the Mammoth do last night?
Oh, look, the Mammoth are rolling.
Let's go. Good vibes everywhere.
4 in a row.
I'll tell you more good vibes. Colorado, born and raised, the University of Northern Colorado, Greeley, former wrestler Justin Gaethje, last night.
Did he do his thing last night?
Oh man, it was a war, and he won. He won on the cards. It was a convincing victory over Paddy Pimblett of. You know what's funny is I always associate Boston and Ireland.
Sure,
obviously they're for good reason,
yeah.
Celtics and Dropkick Murphys and the whole deal, right? And so I was thought of last night as a little microcosm of what's going to happen today.
All right, I'll take that.
A slugfest between a Colorado, just kind of a dirt dog, just a guy in Justin Gaethje against kind of a sexy youngster in Paddy Pimblett. And that's kind of how I feel right now with Drake May. He is the new kid on the block that everybody loves so much.
Maybe the lesser known versus the national favorite, and because I know I saw a lot of Paddy in the promos leading up to that fight. Not a lot of Justin, a lot of Paddy. I'd like to shave his head a little bit.
He went with the cornrows last night, which was
that
interesting.
makes me want to shave his head even more. like Ross, the guy out there. Hey, I went to Jamaica on vacation. Look, I came back. They're still in.
Got the beads.
Yeah, with the white.
The island beads.
Yeah. And you're still kind of living the island life for about a week or two until you just annoy everybody. Anyway, yeah, we all got that buddy that goes on vacation and tries to stay on vacation when they get back. It doesn't work. No, he's got the floof, the kind of fluffy hair. See, my son's got some of that going on, and I'd like to cut his hair too, but we're trying to
let him be.
I know,
man.
you gotta let the young man express himself. I just like to.
Jared Stidham wears AirPods and and sunglasses
but
around.
See, those
everywhere.
weren't even AirPods. That was the old. That's how old that photo is. He had the old iPhone headphones in because you can see the cord.
When's that from? Do we know?
I have no idea.
Is it just AI created or no?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not hip.
Hey, weird Saturday of sports.
Okay.
Outside of the Mammoth
and
UFC, there was no football for the first time in forever.
No football
on a Saturday.
No Avs, no Nuggets. They had both played the night before.
Kind of like
different success.
I don't know if you're listening to this driving around making your plans for a pregame watch party. And if you have not yet found your location, come and join us right here on Lincoln.
Well, even if you have, changed locations and come on down to Stoneys.
Yeah, you absolutely could make a decision to come, or pregame. You can pregame here. It's nice and warm, and then you can go to the stadium if you want to. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But, as you're thinking about a day like yesterday, Saturday, the nerves are kind of starting to build up because there wasn't another NFL wild card or divisional round game to watch ahead of the Broncos, or there wasn't a college football playoff game. It was just really, by design, all eyes are going to be, the sports world, all eyes are on the two games today, and it really is. I mean, this is a massive weekend in pro football. If not, I mean, obviously Super Bowl is the Super Bowl, but you got two championship games obviously on the same day, man. The nerves are high.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Denver has had incredible success in AFC championship games. They've only lost two. You know that. One at home.
What year was the home?
05 to Pittsburgh. And they should have won.
That was Big Ben, right?
That was Big Ben against Jake Plummer.
Healthy, young-ish
Big
Ben.
Yeah, and Denver had a heck of a defense that year and had the home field advantage in the whole deal. And then there was, I want to say it was 91, in 92, 91 season. They lost to Buffalo in the AFC Championship in Buffalo. But that's it. Every other time they've gone to the AFC Championship, they win. They don't, it's weird. My life as a Bronco fan, they don't lose in the AFC Championship.
But have they had their Frank Reich moment yet?
Where the backup shows up?
Where the backup is.
Hey, you know what's crazy? Yes. Well, not quite. So in the Buffalo game in 91, 92, John Elway gets hurt, and Gary Kubiak has to come in and lead that thing. And you know what? He kept them afloat. He did really well. It's one of the, if you ever see my buddy Dave Treadwell, don't bring up that AFC Championship, because Dave made a lot of big kicks, and a matter of fact made a clutch kick the week before to even get him there. Dave did not have a great day that day in Buffalo, and just the wind was wild, and he just couldn't get one through the uprights. Broncos dang near won that game. Now, it's good they didn't, because they would have gone on to play Mark Schlereth's Washington team that was an absolute machine with not Brett, but Mark Rippon, the uncle, and Art Monk, and just all those great players.
And the Hogs.
Ernest Biner.
The Hogs,
right? Ernest Biner. Dexter Manley. I mean, just
remember the O-line coach. Little useless trivia. Who was the Hog father? The O-line coach for that whole era.
What wasn't it? Joe Bugle.
Bugs.
Well, I know a Hog, so yeah, I've heard a few of the stories.
Bugs was the man.
Good old Joe Bugle.
So my dad coached with Joe Bugle at the very tail end of his coaching career at the San Diego Chargers, and I just love picking that dude's brain, man. Just about all the great stories. He actually had a player on that team. Guy, who was the monster offensive lineman? Is there a Dexter?
No, that was a defensive lineman.
Okay.
The D-tackle, Dexter Manley, was a problem.
Okay. So he was he told a story one time about Dexter Manley. Joe Bugle had a thermos of coffee, and it had been all day. It was like in mid afternoon, and he opens up his thermos, and steam comes out of it. Dexter Manley looks at him and goes, "How do it know?" Ask the question of basically how does it work? How is it still steaming? And so Joe Bugle broke it down. How in the world does a thermos works back in 1980?
This would have been early 90s.
Yeah, early 90s. Pretty awesome. Dexter
Very
Manley,
early 90s.
Joe Bugle.
Yeah. Matter of fact, that spring I would go on to graduate from high school. So
Mullen High, baby. Mustangs.
Well, yeah. We had a nice little run of our own that year. Yeah, all right. How you feeling? 303-504-0925. All right, and I asked that of you, Mike Sanford. The Broncos, I almost sent this to Spring, but I didn't. I need to find a better audio copy. Broncos once again, and I believe for the first time since Tim Tebow, were the feature of an SNL bit where they were acting like they didn't know who the backup quarterback was and just having a little bit of fun and all this. Now, the rest of the nation, I don't think thinks as highly of our chances as we do here in Denver.
And I don't
Fair to say?
I think that's 100% accurate. But on the flip side of it, I believe that the reason that Broncos fans, and most importantly, the people inside of the buildings there at Dove Valley, their reason for optimism is rooted in empirical data. That they've seen Jarrett Stidham. We've seen Jarrett Stidham. I mean, you got to be honest, man. I mean, Andy, you and I watched the entire training camp this year, every day, and you wouldn't be able to separate who the starting quarterback was, at least in training camp.
Oh, if we were going off of successful reps and drives downfield, it was Stiddy.
And I know that he's going against the twos.
He wasn't going against the ones like they kept making Bo do.
Let's call the spade a spade, though. The twos for the Broncos on defense, a lot of those guys have had massive seasons.
Oh, yeah.
For Denver. I mean, if you look at it like John Franklin Myers and or Malcolm Roach and or DJ Jones, any two of those three could be a second-string defensive lineman. Jonah Ellis, who's had plenty of success this season when healthy, he's a two.
Q Robinson's had his moments.
Chris
during the
Abrams-Drain,
Chris
who's
Abrams-Drain.
A very, very. I think we got a Denver Broncos Super Bowl legend dropping in right now.
Well, the last time a team had to win the way that the Broncos are probably going to have to win today, Tyler was on the field in that game. How much did you play in that AFC Championship, Tyler? Man, it's been 10 years. All I remember is the 2 TDs to Owen Daniel and having a white knuckle it at the end. What do you remember about that game 10 years ago?
Well, I mean, listen, nobody look up my snap counts here, but in my head, I played the whole game, okay?
All right.
Yeah. What do I remember, man? You know what I remember? Pass rush. That's what I remember. Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, absolutely terrorizing Tom Brady. I mean, my man Nate Solder, who we all love, Colorado Buffalo legend, great football player. That dude got destroyed. Nate's a phenomenal football player, and I'll never forget the way that Vaughn and DeMarcus terrorized those tackles that day.
You know what? There's so many great stories from that game. I remember I was talking to Brandon Marshall, the linebacker, and he said, I don't remember who their running back was, but Marshall, there was some play where I guess Marshall's getting ready to rush or something, and he sees he's looking across at Tom Brady, and Tom Brady looked at his back and basically said, that's the weak link. We're going to go after him. And I guess Marshall's like, oh, really? You think so? And I guess, so he enjoyed all the more just wearing down Tom Brady that day and proving all that to be wrong. I was just asking Mike, I don't think anybody I think Brett Kane was the lone person on the station to pick the Patriots the other day. And look, I still feel really good about the Broncos' chances, but I got to ask you, Tyler, just Tyler Palumbus, football guy, player in the league, played for a couple teams, no allegiances to anybody. Are we drinking too much of our own Bronco Kool-Aid as we wake up this morning, or do you feel just as good that this defense is going to get after that Patriot offense and keep this thing a game?
Hey, I can't get enough Kool-Aid. What do you mean, drinking too much Kool-Aid? Look, for sure, I think we're all caught up in the moment to some degree. There's no question about it. That you get this close and you get delusional about the situation. You get delusional about the backup quarterback and Jarrett Stidham and all that. So, yeah, I mean, there might be some orange and blue tinted glasses going on here. But I also really do believe that it's a game. And it's just a singular game. And all it takes is a well-rounded team performance, and Jarrett is more than capable of winning a singular game. So I've got all the hope. I've got all the optimism in the world. I acknowledge that this thing is a challenge. I acknowledge that the Patriots are favorited for a reason. But I absolutely believe in all my heart the Broncos are capable of winning this game.
TP, you were a part of kind of a changing schematically in the run game in your time as an NFL starting offensive lineman, where there were, double, triple, even sometimes 4 calls in the huddle that the quarterback would get to in terms of the run game, getting to the right run. I have this sneaking suspicion, and tell me what you think about this, that at times that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-year veteran like a Jarrett Stidham might be your best guy to get you into the right run calls. Do you think that plays an impact on the game today at all in terms of Jarrett Stidham and the menu being a little bit more open in terms of getting to the right run, as opposed to Bo Nix, who did do some of it, but at times it felt like he was a lot more comfortable when it was tempo?
Yeah, Mike, I think that when we're talking about Jarrett Stidham being more apt than Bo Nix, we got to be a little bit careful with that, right? I don't think that. Are you guys there? I got you.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. I don't think that Jarrett Stidham is going to have more freedom at the line of scrimmage than Bo Nix had. However, to your point, game plan specific, the check with me is in the huddles. Mike, you know how this goes very well. You call 2 plays in the huddle. Well, Sean can be very smart about that, the plays that he's assigning that is allowing Jared to maybe stick with the runs a little bit more often, provide more run check with Mees than maybe you gave with Bo Nix. But to that degree, just from a play calling, I think it would really have to come from Sean Payton. And I have no doubt that Sean's going to want to run the ball well to take some pressure off of his backup quarterback.
Tyler, before I let you go, and I know you got to get parked and get in there and do a lot of, so we're all going to be doing a lot of stuff today. I know you're joining us on the Mile High Postgame Live. I think you are, right? No, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the day goes. What do you remember about that AFC Championship 10 years ago? It's hard. First off, it's hard to believe it's 10 years ago. But secondly, just what do you remember? The emotions of the day. Like, what was important what did you have to weather at the beginning and all that kind of stuff that just – I know you guys love talking about old games you used to play in, but what do you remember about the AFC Championship?
Well, mainly just the electricity that's in the crowd. You've got the confetti falling after the game, obviously, and you felt like you won a Super Bowl, but you did it at home. There's something that is unique about doing it at home. Of course, winning the Super Bowl is incredible, and nothing could ever replace that. But the AFC Championship was really close. I mean, it was really, really close. Getting to do that in front of the home crowd and with all your family and friends that are in attendance, and the confetti that's falling down is orange and blue. It's not whatever the Super Bowl color theme is. It's your team colors, So it's mainly the aftermath that I remember, getting the kids down there on the field. They're doing snow angels and the confetti. My daughter showed me a photo of her. Can you guys see that? Probably not. Of her and the confetti collected in the orange and blue. But all of it was just amazing. So, I'm fortunate get to bring my middle daughter to the game today and hopefully try to recreate some memories.
Tyler, I'll let you out on this one here. This is not a question, just simply wanted to acknowledge your journey from local boy, Cherry Creek High School, to the CU Buffs, and then to be able to be a significant part of a Super Bowl championship in your hometown with the Denver Broncos. Today is one of those days, man, as an alumni of the Denver Broncos. Enjoy it all, man. Enjoy every bit of the memories that you're creating with your family. And, man, proud to have a chance to work with you, bud.
Right on. Thanks, brother. I appreciate you, Mike. Love you, boys. We'll talk soon. Go Broncos.
Look, your greatest accomplishment was you got fired after me off our own show. So you lasted longer than I did.
God, man, leave it
right,
to
we'll
Andy.
Talk to
Andy just wanted to say we were having a sentimental, positive moment.
Hey, none of that crap today. It's football.
And
all right?
Angry
it's
Andy.
Hard. We're hard and feelings.
Golly, Angry Andy.
Look, are you in your football mode? What are we doing? This ain't Thanksgiving.
You're
Ain't
not
nobody
allowed,
died.
Andy, you're not allowed to
win a
physically
game.
We all know this at a bar. If a man is wearing a suit and tie, you're not allowed to physically assault him.
Look at me. Lock in.
I'm
locked
in.
in.
I'm locked in.
Ain't no love today.
But you know what, man?
No. Quit. Don't break gaze.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, now, see, he did it again. I need you to look at me. I need you in the zone.
I'm here.
We
I'm
don't
ready.
care about anybody.
I'm locked all the way in, Andy.
You got me?
I
may have to go
you.
in and grab a man's private parts to get that fumble today. This ain't nice. Ain't nothing lovely about today.
I don't really.
This is about getting to the next game.
I have gotten to a different place in my life.
Well, I need you out of it.
Then bottom of piles.
I need you back.
Others grabbing of situations.
I need Mike
or
with
Sean
a fistful of chew
Ooh,
and ready to call some plays.
I quit.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a year,
but just for
change.
an hour. I need that Mike back.
God,
I need him.
2.5 years, no nicotine. Well, Zen, sorry, that was.
Yeah, you're kind of cheating.
Yeah, now it's just coughed
Yeah,
out.
I like how you gave the old eyebrows. All right, we're gonna come back, take our first break of the day. Get on down to Stoneys, 11th and Lincoln. We've got prizes here. We've got helmets we're giving away, little mini helmets over there. I'm going to take a look at the prize table. We always have it is a gorgeous. I almost wore the Steve Atwater jersey today, but I figured I had to stay with the look from last week. By the way, if we lose, it's Mike Sanford screwing up the mojo for not wearing what he wore a week ago. I have got the same attire from the victory a week ago, and that's very important as fans that you chip in that way. If you got a jersey, you better be wearing. No, we ain't going
I have
that
the same
far.
underwear
But
on.
same jersey.
Yep.
There's a same jersey requirement. So, anyway, hopefully the football gods forgive you for taking on more work today and not being able to wear the jersey you wore a week ago. We'll come back. We're going to talk some AFC Championship. We're going to be joined by the whole Altitude Sports lineup. We'll get everybody's updated predictions, and we'll take your text, 303-504-0925. It is the AFC Championship pregame show on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. We roll on here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Andy Lindahl, Mike Sanford. Cole Smith is out here engineering. Mark Springer keeping it all together. I have to get Spring's prediction again. I couldn't tell. Spring was interesting, Fred. Spring, was it you or Berto? Was Berto being the one that thinks that we're all crazy for because Berto wasn't wrong. I think everybody but Brett Kane picked the Broncos Friday. And I was like, that may not be a good omen, but did you end up picking the Broncos?
Oh, yeah, I'm picking the Broncos. I like that everyone's counting them out. I like that. I want to be as overlooked as possible in these situations. I like this. No shot.
You got your wish.
What's the Springer degenerate gambler steady line? And let's just go yards and let's go touchdowns. And you could break it up however you want to.
I'm sure there's an actual line out there, which I haven't looked at. I don't know. Does he cross the 200-yard plateau?
You like the over on 200?
Touchdowns has got to be
1.5?
1.5, yeah.
What do you like?
Over, baby.
Over on everything. You know what's a good one? What about the over on a steady rushing touchdown, which has got to be, 0.5? A steady rushing touchdown would really, really hit the soul pretty hard today. I'm all in.
He's thinking.
Oh, you're asking me? Steady rushing touchdown? Look, best high school dual-threat quarterback. TD. The best high school dual-threat quarterback of his class. Dial it up.
America.
Dial it up.
Hey, and so the Denver Broncos have 2 of the number 1 overall dual-threat quarterbacks in their class. And ironically, Sam Ehlinger. If we do have any Sam Ehlinger, that'd be an interesting prop to hit because he might be a red zone guy.
All right, let me ask you guys this. And we got Darren McKee ready to jump in. Let us know when he's all assembled there.
Darren McKee from Empower Field.
Is there a chance you saying that? Is there a chance Sean just trots out Ehlinger for something weird?
It wouldn't surprise me.
A player or two, right?
Would not surprise me.
I don't think it'll happen.
The reason I like the thought of it is the interconnected nature of that quarterback room.
Yeah.
And then also, we've joked a lot about Jarrett Stidham, number 1 dual-threat quarterback in America, and even he this week was like, it was a long time ago.
Even he was like, I don't really want to go running and take those
28
hits,
pounds heavier than I was back then. But Sam Ehlinger, that really is his game. He's the guy that I always said, if for some reason tragedy or, a massive negative happened to the Denver Broncos, Sam Ehlinger is probably the guy play-style-wise that would most resemble Bo Nix.
All right, let's welcome in DMac, live at the stadium. You see him there. He's got a beautiful setup right there. All right, you know how these pregame shows go, Darren. We're to the point where, we've talked so much about this game. Now we're trying to concoct wild ideas. Is there any way Sam Ehlinger goes, who was the guy? Who was his guy in New Orleans that would come in and throw the deep ball here and there?
Not Taysom, because
Taysom Hill. Does Sam Ehlinger get a little Taysom Hill roll today? Does he just shock us all?
I was careful on the radio show this week to mention him. I mean, it's possible. Wouldn't that be something? Especially after that good old Saturday Night Live skit. That is Sam Ehlinger, not Jared Stidham. But, yeah, sure. I mean, shizzle happens, right? And you never know if it's going to be Sam Ehlinger. One thing to keep in mind, Ehlinger, like Stidham, turned down other offers to stay here. Ehlinger turned down an offer to be on the active 53. So we shouldn't ignore that.
All right. We wake up. I know you've been very optimistic all week. And look, I'm still optimistic. I guess there's just a part of me the morning of the game where I'm like, man, are we all drinking too much Kool-Aid? How do you still feel about things as you're about to enter the stadium and watch your third AFC championship here in town, your fourth?
Yeah, I feel great about it. I feel Broncos win 23-13. So does that guy over there. And nothing changed. In fact, it got a little bit better for the Broncos with Luke Wattenberg coming back, guys.
True.
That's a positive that we haven't mentioned. I'm bummed that J.K. Dobbins isn't going to go. It is what it is. They've activated Elijah Moore and Bandy. I don't know if they'll play or not. We'll see with Franklin and We'll see who else might forget. Oh, Pat Bryant. We'll see how they are. So they might be active, they might not. But Luke Wattenberg is back, and I think that's a big addition. Plus, let's not forget how the left side of the Patriots offensive line coach has actually done in the past couple weeks. Prap, and I think Nick Benito will feast.
Yeah, and we also have to acknowledge that Drake May is the type of player in his second year, didn't even get an entire first year as a full-time starter. He is the type of player that does like to hunt the big play. And those guys have struggled at times against the Broncos. Josh Allen, he hunted the big play. Hold on to the ball an extra 0.5 seconds, and all of a sudden, here's an outstretched arm of a Zach Allen or a Nick Benito or a Jonathan Cooper. There's plenty of opportunities to turn over Drake May in that environment. Speaking of which, the environment, you're right outside of Empower Field. Give us a little bit of a feel for the weather. I know Bianchi's saying it's going to start pretty nice, and then it's going to cold front's going to move in about second quarter, and it's going to turn windy and potentially snowy, especially if it gets to overtime. But what's the feeling like at Empower Field around Broncos fans? And also, what are you seeing? There are a ton of Patriots fans. You're some of your own old neighbors, if you will.
I do have the lead singer for my high school band, Andy and Mike, is actually here with his family. Apparently he made money and I didn't, but good for him, Jamie Sedford. Yeah, there's a few Patriots fans. I see a little Brady there scrambling around. I see you, lady. You look all right. You're fine. You're a little bit lost. It's okay. But the environment, the Broncos fans are going to way outsize the Patriots' impact. Way outsize them. In terms of the weather, it's really right now, it's not bad at all. There's no wind whatsoever. It's brilliant sunshine, as you can see, and it's in like the mid-20s. So weather like this would be, I think, guys, a zero factor. Now, how cold will it get? I don't know. We'll see. But I don't think the weather's going to be that big of a deal at all. It'll just be a little chilly. This doesn't feel to me at all like the Ravens game. I remember coming here years ago for the Ravens playoff game, and you could barely stand outside at all. That is not the case today. So I don't think the weather is going to be that big of a deal, to be quite honest with you.
Everybody needs to get to Twitch and YouTube right now to watch Darren McKee live. DMac, I don't know why I keep calling you by your real name. DMac, living. It's like your TV reporter life. You're like man on the street TV reporter, my guy. Everybody wants to get in on your shot. That's great. We're having fun with it. D, I feel like, guys, it's going to be very important that, like the first 15. Here's what I think, and I know Tyler kind of poo-pooed a little bit of this on Friday when you were chatting with him, DMac, but I agree with you on this. I feel like the first 15 with Stidham, they got no idea what to expect. Now, it could look exactly like it did with Bo, but there could be a couple of things in there that, that Bo doesn't like, that Stiddy does or whatever. And if they can do what they did in 2015, get a couple TDs early, get a lead to play with, then I think it completely changes the game in their favor.
Yeah, I think, first of all you Twitter heroes, just ignore the first couple drives one way or the other. If it goes great, wonderful. But if this game is, I don't know, man, 10-7, 7-3 at halftime, I'm not freaking out. What the Broncos have done all year is wear teams down. Just let them get them out of the system. It's
fine. I like it.
Hey, D-Mac, was that their impersonation of one Jim Nantz? Was that have we yet recorded a Darren McKee version of
the
Jim Nantz's
we'll get
famous call?
Broncos. Yeah, we're gonna have a little. We'll have a little contest. Anyway, go ahead. You were saying if it's a tight game, to go ahead and hang in there. Don't start tweeting feelings.
I mean, don't worry about the Broncos if they're not, if it's not clicking right away. I'm not freaked out about it at all. It's a fourth quarter team. It's a come from behind team. Obviously, we have no idea about Stidham in that sort of circumstance. But to think that we, as Broncos fans and Broncos country, are jumping off bridges or giving up the fight or think that it's all over like the Saturday Night Live skit insinuated last night, not even really that funny. It was really, I don't know, but that's par for the course probably for them. But that being said, I think we should be very optimistic about today, guys. I think the Broncos win. I think it's historically significant that the Patriots are 0-4 here. I do think that's important, not because one team relates to another, but the environment of playing at this time of year for them here. And to think that they're going to get over with Drake May when Tom Brady couldn't, okay, good luck with that.
Yeah, right. That's one of the aspects of this game that isn't being talked about enough is that Drake May, MVP caliber regular season. Drake May now 2-0 in the playoffs. Man, he hasn't been in many of these spots on the road, has he?
And he's not dealt with this noise. He got the home crowd the first 2 playoff games of his career. Now he's got to battle the crowd. Here's the other thing I'm going to tell you. DMac, it's funny you bring it up. I was telling Mike. Mike was talking about the nerves of a day like this. It's like the night before the Super Bowls are always the night that I remember for various reasons. I'm going to tell you, again, 77, 86, 87, 89, 2013, 2015. They've won all those AFC championships. They've only lost twice in the history, and one was on the road in Buffalo, and the other one was at 2005 game against the Steelers. The Broncos, in their history, especially at home, they close the deal. They seem to know how to just close the deal. And to your point, DMac, that's organizational history, and you can't deny there's just something about this franchise that knows how to get it done at home. So that's something to hang your hat on. You know what? I've enjoyed your live shot here. Did anybody else want to yell before he let you go there, D-Mac? You guys, I hope you guys are getting this at the post-game show for Altitude TV.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Hey, you tried. You tried. All right, man. We'll talk to you after the game. You guys have fun down there, and it's go Broncos.
23-13 Broncos. We're off to Santa Clara.
There it is. There it is. And
pack
we're all
your bags.
We'll all be living in the real world house for a week.
Darren, you want to see some real altitude after dark? Can you imagine that Airbnb in Daly City popping off with all of us degenerates? My gosh.
I'm walking in there in just boxers if you guys are doing that. That's what you got to look forward to. I'm going to join you for a segment. I may put on a fake man carpet right there. I may try to go full 70s.
Yeah,
just to
I got
really
turn
it up.
I got a pretty good solid taco meat situation that I'm going to be showing off all week long, baby.
We're going to do one show of just shirtless dudes hanging out. You like that, Darren? Will that help the YouTube numbers?
Sign me up. I'm over 55. I have.
All right, let's hope that happens. That is DMac. He's going to be hanging out there all day long. Not only all day long, he's going to be anchoring part of the post-game coverage thereafter on Altitude TV. You guys will be out at the stadium. It'll be good stuff. Look, we've got a whole day planned. We might as well be. It's almost like we're home for Broncos coverage. We got the game, too, by the way.
We are covering the game.
Westwood One's national call of the game coming your way.
We had
on
our guy
this
on,
station.
too, right? Didn't we?
Yeah.
What was his name?
Ryan Radke.
He was a stud, man.
He's ready to go.
Good deep voice.
Yeah,
too.
well,
he's one of these guys.
You don't work for Westwood One sounding like me. I'll just put it to you that way.
He's one of these,
Yeah, you and I need to go smoke some cigarettes out back and try to lower the baritone of the voice. But, all right, we're going to take our break. We're going to come back. We'll continue to hook up with Altitude Sports personalities. We'll start reading some of your texts. I'm going to pull the text line up. Yeah, I don't know. Oddly, I'm telling you, the AFC Championship days don't get the butterflies in my stomach going the way the Super Bowl does.
They do for me.
Good. You know why? That's the old coacher.
I want a week, selfishly.
In Santa Clara, going to the Bennigan's?
I want to go to Bennigan's, man.
There was a Bennigan's. I'll tell you,
night.
because I stayed at the hotel they're probably going to stay in. There was a Bennigan's. There was a Walmart that sold cheap liquor. And
might we see the first ever all Walton
I was thinking about that. Both sides of the family.
Both sides of the family.
That could make the next family get-together a little bit interesting.
Or very profitable.
Or very profitable.
For everybody involved.
It is the AFC Championship pregame show here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. All right, popping mics. No, here, turn that around. Yeah, there we go. Mike's breaking the headset, and we got Dan Tanner on. Say it again.
First time I've ever been on the radio. Sorry about that.
All right, we got Dan Tanner on the phone. Let's say hello to one Dan Tanner. Now, most of PhDs joined in. I don't think Scotty's conscious wherever he is. They've been traveling so much. Plus, I think Memphis is getting hit with that ice storm, too, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's no
Not a good
part,
place to be.
basically, east of Denver, that things are going well. Let's welcome in Dan Tanner, who you always hear on PhD. All right, Dan, you're on your way down to the game as well. You felt pretty good a week ago. How you feeling today?
Guys, I'm feeling great. I'm actually already here. I'm roaming the parking lots. I've got some fan interaction videos coming up on our Twitter page at AltitudeSR. I already got one up. Just talking to Broncos fans, getting the vibe out here. Guys, fans are confident. I don't know if it's overconfidence. I heard you guys on the way in. Tyler was saying he's optimistic. Maybe it's orange-tinted glasses. But I will just say the pulse of the fans I'm getting out here is they are very, very optimistic that the Broncos, mainly their defense, that's what gives our fans confidence right now. I've been asking folks. And that's what's going on out here at Empower Field. The tailgate is fully underway.
You know what I think is nuts, Dan, and it's funny, Mike. I don't know if you paid attention to it, but we were in break right before you came on, and we've got this CBS pregame on, and they're doing a piece called "Who is Jared Stidham?" Guys, and Dan, you answer first, and Mike, I want you to weigh in. Jared Stidham was a guy that was sought after in free agency. He's a guy that was always talked about to be traded for. What is this? Who is Jared Stidham's storyline? Where is this coming from?
Well, I do find it interesting in the piece that we just watched during the break. They talked about the love that Sean Payton has had from start to finish for Jared Stidham. And they actually showed when Jared Stidham came in was the spark, Mr. Sparky, that we all talked about when Russell Wilson got benched and Jared Stidham was the guy. They showed an image of Jared Stidham throwing a big explosive play to little Jordan Humphrey in 2023 against the Chargers. And one thing I saw after that completion, I saw something I haven't seen in 2 years. And that was a smile, a genuine smile on Sean Payton's face. He loves this guy, man. He believes in this guy. And that's powerful. That means something, number one, to the player that's going to have to go out there on the field knowing that the guy that is arguably one of the best offensive play callers over the last 25 years believes that he is up for this moment.
What do you think, Dan? I mean, again, I feel like it's coming. I feel like most NFL fans know who Jared Stidham is, don't you?
Well, the fans I've been talking to out here, guys, when I've asked them about, Jared Stidham, again, they just say he really doesn't. At least this is coming from the fans, okay? They don't think Jared Stidham really has to do a whole lot today in order for the Broncos to win. Just don't turn the ball over. That's what I've been getting from a lot of fans. Just don't turn the ball over. Play great defense. Hopefully they can get the run game going. I had a couple fans mention that to me as well. And if they can do that, if Jared Stidham can play mistake-free football and make a couple of big plays, do you guys think Jared Stidham is capable of making a couple of big plays in key moments? And if he's able to do that, then the Broncos are going to the Super Bowl.
See, I'm of the accord. My prediction for today is that Jared Stidham, because of what my eyes showed me in the 2025 training camp and preseason, because that is real football, I think that Jared Stidham's going to actually play good football today. I think it's going to be clean football. I think he's going to be in rhythm. I think the offense is going to look rhythmic.
Yeah, you know what? I tell you this, Dan. I don't think he needs to be, again, he's not trying to sub in for 2013 Peyton Manning and keep the greatest offense in NFL history afloat, right? But I'll say this, guys. I do believe that, again, you can't have a little Jordan Humphrey drop pass if it's put right on you in the end zone. Guys have got to make plays for Stiddy for this to work, and hopefully that'll happen. All right, your prediction, Dan, before we let you go, what do you got?
I'm going 23-20 Broncos. I'll let you guys go because my right hand does not have a glove currently, and it's about to fall off. I'm holding my phone with my right hand. It is cold out here, guys. But look, this is Denver, Colorado, okay? We're used to this. It's not that big of a deal. And, I've been hearing a lot of Patriots fans saying, oh, we've got the advantage in cold weather. No, they don't. The Broncos have the advantage in cold weather. Broncos fans, I don't even see a lot of people that bundled up. This is what we do here. We survive. We go to games in cold weather.
Would I tell you this, Dan Tanner, is any time that you start a statement with my right hand,
Yeah.
sometimes it gets weird. So, yes, the Denver Broncos are confident and comfortable in all weather, but what I'd tell you about New England, they have played in nasty weather recently,
Yeah.
but not at above 5,000 feet of elevation. The combination of cold plus thin air is a bit of a unique combination because your brain's telling you about the cold, but oh, by the way, there's still this thing where the oxygen that I'm taking in, it starts to creep up on you.
All right, Dan, you go put that glove on. We appreciate you.
Take care of that
I'm gonna
right
take
hand,
care of my
man.
right hand. Take care.
Yeah. Well, when it's frozen, they call it the stranger. Look, here's what I'll tell you, and I thought this was great. I can't remember who made this. I think I was hearing this on the radio
Well played.
as I drove home from last week's watch party. It was about the Patriot game because it was in the snow. So maybe I was out somewhere else the next day. Whatever. The commentator, and I think it was Ross Tucker, on the radio was talking about the cold doesn't help anybody, okay? You can act like look, maybe you live there, but you're not spending 3 straight hours out in the cold doing anything unless you're working construction, right? And that's your life, okay? These guys all have been in and out and in and out. Everybody's got, you can try to acclimate to it in the first 15 minutes and hopefully the adrenaline gets going and you're winning and blah, 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 blah. But the bottom line is it's going to be cold and everyone's going to be dealing with it and we'll just see who deals with it best. Fair enough?
I like this formula for dealing with it better than the Patriots. I love a long, sustained, rhythmic Broncos drive early and then a 3-and-out or a takeaway of Drake May. And keep Drake May on that sideline.
You know what I think is
that's when it gets bad.
You know what else I think is funny? Sean Payton and Josh McDaniels, in a way, are a lot alike in their play calling because I remember this from Josh being here. Josh doesn't love to run the football much more than any other modern coach. Josh McDaniels is the king of maybe giving one crack at the run inside the 5 that he wants to throw the rest of the time, right? So I'm going to be curious to watch if either team really hunkers down behind their run game today.
I think that Josh McDaniels is going to attempt to, but then he's going to panic and he can't help himself. I actually believe that what's going to bolster the Bronco run game is going to be between the ears of Jarrett Stidham getting you into the right run call, and I think that actually might be a slight bit of an improvement over Bo Nix. And I'm not saying Bo's not capable of doing that. There are certain quarterbacks that I've been around that you can see they have listen to a Bo Nix press conference, listen to a Jarrett Stidham press conference, right? Bo Nix is very straightforward, very, robo quarterback. Not a bad thing at all, very programmable. Jarrett Stidham, he's the kind of guy that when he elaborates, there's a different level of depth to the way that he verbalizes certain things. Those same characteristics, they show up on both sides in a quarterback meeting room. And when you're checking plays at the line of scrimmage, there are certain guys that are just really, really good at that. And that's my weird prediction is the Broncos' run game is actually going to take a step up because of Jarrett Stidham's ability to get to the right run play in that 3-4 tiered run place.
That was why they went to the Super Bowl last time, and they even caught Gary Kubiak on mic talking about Peyton Manning checking into proper run plays.
He might not have been able to throw it,
game.
right? He might not have been elite throwing it at that point in his career, but gosh dang it, he could put the team in the right position. And
all right,
football.
You know what? By the way, we have a very important anniversary people are reminding us about. We're going to continue to check in with a lot of the folks on the Altitude on air lineup up and down the airwaves as we continue to go, but right now, we're going to take our final time out of this hour. Another hour of coverage coming your way next here. It's the AFC Championship pregame show live from Stoneys at 11th and Lincoln. Get in here. We're setting up for another big crowd. Great vibes all around. It's Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Yeah, we welcome you back. We are inside Stoneys, and you can be too. We're at 11th and Lincoln. Swing on by. Although there are a lot of people here. But look, if you go out to a bar to watch a game, I don't think you want to sit there and be by yourself, right? You want a good vibe. You want a lot of people. Definitely a younger crowd out here at Stoneys, but good for them. Lots of Broncos jerseys. It's funny because, we kind of always talk about this.
Young crowds are fun, for the record.
Well, you need
even
the
if you're
energy.
old like me, even if you're old like you, getting around some 20 and 30-somethings, good time,
the energy's great.
I like energy,
great.
Andy. I don't want to go hang out with a bunch of get-off-my-lawners.
Bunch of guys our age.
Every
Sipping
time anything
their,
happens in the game, it's just a.
There we go. Classic Von Miller jersey there. There's no other 58
That's a
in
real
Denver.
fan right
Is that
there.
it? Turn around. We got the Von Miller. Yeah, that's a Von Miller. There we go.
There's a real fan
there
right
we go. We need a little Nick Benito action.
Jared Stidham walking into a power field.
With a cowboy hat.
Well, tell you what, the aura is real. Jared Stidham.
I could tell you that was shot a while ago. Our friend Romy Bean, who I know you work with on CBS Times, she already shot out a video of him warming up. So that walk-in was not just a few minutes ago.
All right.
But look, the crowd got up. This crowd, hey, the rest of the nation may not apparently know who Jared Stidham is, although I don't buy that, but whatever. This crowd knows who Jared Stidham is, that's for sure. You know what? Can I tell you about one of my times? I've so many times been the guy, because, when you travel with the team, you take the team bus, and oftentimes we're on the early bus, and that's when they're trying to get their shots so they can get it back, get it turned around for pregame or whatever, or they just do it live. How many times I've come off the bus and just seen the cameraman just be like, who's this guy? Get out of the shot.
Get out of there.
I got to get off the bus, man. I'm sorry. It's not a player's bus. A couple times I've been like, dude, there's no guys on here. It's all the training staff, the broadcasters, and a few of the docs, right? You got the wrong bus, bro. That bus is coming in an hour. Sorry. Did you ever get the were the old walk-in shots big?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were
you
pretty
guys,
big, especially at Notre Dame.
Okay,
and, and at Notre Dame,
Yeah.
because you're the only show on college football Saturdays with NBC, right?
Right.
And so
that's right.
when NBC does, the entire day it seems like is committed to Notre Dame football. And then the year I coached there, I was there 2 years, but the first year, it was one of the first college versions of Hard Knocks. And so they had Showtime, did a series called A Season with Notre Dame Football. You can still find it. It's on Showtime. You can download it from the 2015 season, and they did a shot at my house.
Really?
Oh yeah, and I didn't tell my wife Anne Marie that they were going to be there at like 6:15 in the morning. So they got the real organic Sanford family.
Wow.
Cranky Anne Marie, little babies all running around.
I was going to say, well, nobody had to go to school yet. Then I guess everybody was too young.
It's a cool shot. I actually took my daughter. I walked her to the bus stop.
Well, there you go.
And sent her off, and then I went over to work a day in the life of a Notre Dame football coach.
How about you were on the Andrew Luck staff with Harbaugh at
Yep.
Sanford, and see, there it is. Now they've transferred, and there's Stiddy getting warmed up.
Oh,
so.
all I could see was Moser's very punchable face.
Oh, that's right. We got him
man.
out. I missed that. Oh, I forgot. We got an early abs game.
We got abs. We're getting ready to
hey,
drop
man,
that
you want
puck,
a
baby.
pregame. Yeah, you know what? That's going to help because by the time we get off the air, there's still an hour before we've got the Westwood 1 pregame. You got Mr. Moser. Boy, what happened to the Avs the other night? We shouldn't get into that. My God, what boys?
Giving up a touchdown. You're not
too
fond of that?
Now, I guess I don't want to cry about how well you played this year, but what the heck? Anyway, all right. 303-504-0925. We got a few Patriot fans chiming in here. One person from the 320-720 area code says no one outside the Denver media or fans. Denver fans believe that Sam Ehlinger and Jared Stidham gave up more money to stay here. Okay. That is actually a fact. Sam Ehlinger was offered a chance. Now, I didn't know about Stidham. I guess Stidham could have went and signed free agents-wise. But we know for a fact Sam Ehlinger multiple times was offered a chance to join a 53, but instead stay here. So we're all trying to figure it out as to why.
You look
but
at some
he
of
did
these,
get a few game checks. So.
Look at a couple of these contracts here for quarterbacks, guys that were not deemed to be essentially starters at the beginning of the year. Quarterbacks, Marcus Mariota was an $8 million annual guy. Davis Mills, a $7 million guy. Jacoby Brissett, $6.5 million guy. Tyrod Taylor, $8.5 million. And then Jarrett Stidham's the next highest paid. So he is a top 5 highest paid backup quarterback in the National Football League.
Sure. He's making a good life. Making a good life. By the way, shout out to a couple of texters that pointed this out. 28 years ago today, you know what we were celebrating there, Mike?
It was Packers?
John Elway raised his first Lombardi trophy as a player. Pat Bolin, this one's for John.
This has all been pushed back so much
yeah,
now.
It tells you how much. Are you kidding me? You know what's funny? When you see the anniversary of the drive, it's like the wild card round now. And that was the AFC Championship. It is unreal. They used to play the Super Bowl like January 21st or 22nd or something like that, man. It's amazing how much. And just a heads up, fellas, and you know what? Some of the ladies out there for sure, too. Next year, people have looked ahead. Next year, the Super Bowl is on Valentine's Day. Good luck with that.
Super Bowl's going to be played like
They're
on tax day.
Listen, all they got to do is get that 18th game and an extra bye week. They'll be on President's Day, as so many people. They'll get to President's Day weekend. Super Bowl will be Sunday, day off Monday, national holiday, and then
probably the way to go.
That's really the map that they're going after. Well, it's interesting because, again, Robert Kraft talked about it. He had a moment where he had his press conference this week. He brought up the 18-game schedule. Saw a lot of pushback from people. You can't keep doing this, but look, at the end of the day, that's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. This thing will be an 18-game schedule. Mike, with what you and I watch every year, and I know it's a cash cow for owners, but listen, this league knows how to make money. I will not be surprised if preseason games are not even a real thing anymore at some point. And I know a couple years ago that sounded crazy, but seriously, I mean, with the way these games have gone, with the way nobody really plays them, the stadium's half full, it feels like half the time anyway. It's not like you're getting packed crowds for a preseason game. I won't be shocked if in, say, the next 5, it's 18 games, schedule a few of these joint practices, charge for the joint practice.
How many preseason total?
None.
Zero?
None. What are you getting out of it?
I think it's still.
Some of these NFL teams are treating the first 2 games, the first 2 weeks of the season like a preseason.
Yeah, you're not.
Nobody plays.
You're not entirely wrong. I still think that they're, to get that roster, what's different about pro football and college football is that you got to pair that active roster down.
I don't disagree with you. I don't know how you do it right now anyway. I know you guys almost have educated eyes, but to me, at Terrell Davis, we could go over and over and over all the stories of guys that showed a game environment that found a way. My buddy Jeff Putz here. His rookie year, they were going to cut him and try to sneak him to the practice squad. You know what he went out and did? Made a one-hand, you played with Jeff, one-handed toe-tapping catch on the sideline. He walked back after the catch while everybody was still celebrating. Broncos Frank Bush, the special teams coach, Frank Bush, walked by him and goes, "Thanks, you just screwed up our plans to get you to the practice squad. I guess you're going to have to be on the regular season roster now." And he was.
Changes everything, man.
So I agree with you. I don't know how they do this.
I like 2 preseason games, 2 crossover practice opportunities.
But let me ask you this, too, though. Let's say even go 3. I don't know. But how often did we see Sean Payton and whatever? It happened this year. Sean Payton in Arizona for sure. They went hard in practice, and then nobody played in the game. Yeah. That's where Jared Stidham, other than Evan Ingram, who wanted to play with Stiddy, other than that, everybody else was a backup because they saw what they needed to see in the joint practices.
You take away preseason games and you go joint. For those guys that are right on that 55 to 65 bubble to make the roster, do you worry about maybe some of the really, really good practice habits that most of the NFL has? Well, all of a sudden, I got to make something happen, and now we're going to have way more charged up versions of those practices.
I could see them going, we are going to go live for about 50. But again, they still get to control it. You don't get to control a preseason game. And I do think there's something I have to tell you as a coach. You want the controlled environment. You want to be able to tell the guy, don't hit the quarterback, dummy. Don't go low. Stay off the ground. Blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. Look, I think that's where this thing could be headed. All right. Well, do you remember anything about Super Bowl 28? How old were you? Because I got about 10 years on you, I think.
15.
Maybe. You were 15? I'm trying to remember. I was in college, but maybe I'm not quite as – well, how old are you?
43.
Okay, I got 8 years on you.
That sounds right?
Yeah.
What year was it?
97 and 98, and then 98.
50.
99.
So my 16.
See, I always just go by the season. It was the 97 and 98 seasons that they were the champions.
Yep.
Now, the
playoff
games are played 98 and 99.
I was living in South Bend, Indiana.
Right.
So I was closer to Packers country.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you have any you know what? I actually lived with a bunch of guys that were from Wisconsin. And so I had roommates that were Packer fans. That was a week divided a little bit until the game.
That's a great Super Bowl. Broncos, Packers.
Oh, I'm still telling you right now, I'm not being biased, and I'll explain my reason. I think it's the greatest Super Bowl of all time because you had two Hall of Fame quarterbacks facing each other. You had a Hall of Famer in Shannon Sharp, and the top tight end at the time was Mark Chmura, if you remember.
Oh,
They had Dorsey Levens. The Broncos had Terrell Davis. Leroy Butler v. Steve Atwater, Reggie White. Alfred Williams was playing the best football of his life for the Broncos. Again, the matchups were so deep, so even, and it just was what I hate is when people say a game like the Titans-Rams game. That was a good finish. It was not a great game. Nothing happened for 3 quarters. The Broncos and Packers traded blows the whole way. Green Bay comes out, marches down the field and scores, and everyone's going, oh, my God, here we go again. And then the Broncos, on the strength of Terrell Davis's legs, go right back and answer. And let me tell you, as a Bronco fan, it was the first time I'd ever seen the bad first drive get answered by the Broncos. So, I mean, it was a great game all the way throughout. It came down to the final play, basically, to John Mobley knocking down the ball from Mark Chmura. Then all the Broncos had to do was kneel it down. That was a great game, start to finish, with great players in NFL history.
And also two very, very hungry franchises
at
that point in time, right? Especially.
Hey, Favre was trying to put 2 in a row and really get his legacy going, and Elway was fighting to save his. John told you, he doesn't know if he's cruising into the Hall of Fame if he doesn't win it. And he said in the Elway documentary, I always would have felt empty if I hadn't won one. Jim Kelly can tell himself. Dan Marino can tell themselves, it's all right. I had a great career. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm sure you enjoyed your career. There's no way you don't wish. I'm sure at least Jim Kelly got a play in a few. Dan Marino's got he got one crack. One crack. And that's what's crazy as to what's on the line today. In a way, there's no pressure for the Broncos because they are playing the backup quarterback. They are missing some people. But I don't have to tell you, Mike. You can explain to the fans out there better than I. The work that goes in for this shot in your building, backup quarterback or not, it's going to sting so bad if you don't cash this check.
It is. These are so hard to be able to get to, in particular when you do have a second-year quarterback, when you do have a third-year head football coach that, frankly, he had to deal with a salary
I was about to say, worst cap situation there for a minute.
And so you can say it's only going to get better, but we all know, man, in the game of football, are the Raiders going to be a better team with Fernando Mendoza and potentially an actual real professional head coach? Are the Chargers going to get right with Mike McDaniel as their offensive play caller, and all of a sudden now Justin Herbert turns into the guy that we think? Is Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid by mid-season next year, are they going to be hitting their stride again?
Well, and do you win? I mean, listen, Nate predicted it for the Chiefs last year. You're going to be able to turn around and have the same conversation about the Broncos. Are you going to win all these one-score games? Are you going to win them? I don't know.
Chiefs did it in 2024, did not do it in 2025.
Yep.
And then lost their quarterback because he, frankly, had been in too many of those spots.
Hey, Philadelphia, the Eagles lived on the razor's edge. Everything, they seem to always finish it off, though, at the end and make the game good. They couldn't do it this year.
Do you find it concerning that, at least in the AFC West, you look at 3 quarterbacks in the AFC West that played in a ton of one-score games in back-to-back years? All 3 of those quarterbacks essentially finished their season injured.
Yeah.
Think about it, right? Patrick Mahomes catches up to you when it catches up to you.
Justin Herbert,
he's playing with a
broken hand.
A broken hand. And he's not what he was. You can't be. And
because you're too worried about not getting the hand crushed.
Yeah, and it was getting crushed. Like the amount of hits that
now
guy
Bo
took.
Nix has got a bum ankle, and
I'm not super fired up about that news.
I was going to ask you because Tyler was not afraid. Tyler had tweeted it out midweek where he said, "I don't like a 4 to 6 month prognosis for that recovery." You worried about that at all?
I don't like some of the whispers that I've heard about some of the pre-existing ankle conditions.
Yeah, well, that's for another day. Today, it's about the AFC Championship. Tonight, this afternoon. We want to hear your predictions, 303-504-0925. That's 303-504-0925. Heard from a lot of Bronco fans already. Give us your final score prediction, and do you believe in Stiddy? Or is it that you believe in the defense? Look, if you're just believing in the defense, Bronco fans, I don't think you should feel bad about that at all because, again, I witnessed the last time the defense carried you to that trophy. It's Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. All right, we welcome you back to Altitude Sports Radio's AFC Championship pregame coverage. Stay tuned for the NFL on Westwood One's coverage of the AFC Championship starting at noon. That's just after this show with kickoff just after 1. It's presented by Johnson Auto Plaza. Experience the power of the plaza at Johnson Auto Plaza in Brighton and JohnsonAutoplaza.com. Of course, they're the ones that give Roach gives you the big voice. Nate Kreckman and Scott Hastings joining the show. Let's start with Scott. Because, Scotty, we just had a Nuggets game postponement. Tell us what you know. When are we going to get this one? Are you coming home, or are you guys hanging out to play the game?
Well, here's the interesting thing. They couldn't get any buses downtown to our hotel to take us to the game, which is about 5 blocks away. So I doubt if they could get buses to the hotel to take us to the airport, which is about 30 minutes away. So they told us to basically shelter in place in the hotel room until further information.
This sounds a little, Scotty, like the you remember it was a Trailblazers game in the ice. You remember that one? They had an ice storm up in Portland, and a bunch of people pitched in to be able to get people on snowmobiles to be able to get to the stadium. Sounds a little bit like that.
I remember the one time that the Nuggets had that, or not the Nuggets, the Broncos had that trying to get out to Buffalo. Remember that, Andy? And they were having people getting players and getting snowmobiles. I guess Jason Elam was the only guy that had a snowmobile, and he was like picking up Ed McCaffrey, and that was great. Hey, we're in Memphis, Tennessee, boys. Let me just say this: there's about 4 inches of snow. I mean, it's really not bad, but this city is shut down right now.
But I've heard the ice, I don't know, they said the ice there gets thick and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. The ice is not thick in Denver, but it is very cold. We could see snow by the second quarter, according to Chris Bianchi. Scotty, what is your prediction for what happens today? Now, again, I ask you, the former athlete, you wake up, we've all felt positive, but now you're a couple hours away from trying to make the predictions become reality. How do you feel about this thing and the task ahead?
Well, I'll just say this. There's a reason backups are backups. Coach will tell you that. There's a reason you have starters, the reason you have backups. And the backups aren't better than the starters. That being said, backups can play like starters and can play star type of sport, basketball, football, whatever it is, for a game. All Stidham has to do is go out there and be really good for a game. We'll worry about 3 weeks from now, right? Or 2 weeks from now. We'll worry about that if that arises. So listen, I think the defense is still the same. Everything that we've complained about as a group here on all of our shows are the same as far as your offense, the inability to run the football. Can you do this? Can you do that? The offensive line is still going to be good. The key is if Stidham can be good, I think they can beat New England. But he's going to have to be really good. If he's poor and he plays like a backup, then they're going to probably lose.
All right, I'll tell you what. We've got a little spotty Wi-Fi for you. Maybe you and I need to try a little hot mic tonight if you're stuck in a hotel. How's that grab you? After DMac and Sanford are half naked on their podcast, you and I will come in, sexy it up later maybe. You like that idea?
I'll let you know what's going on. In the meantime, God bless, stay warm, and go Broncos.
Go Broncos. Good news is you can watch the game there. All right, we're going to go in the order that they all kind of jumped in. Nate Kreckman was in here first. Brett Kane's hanging out in his newly remodeled sports bar he put in when he was supposed to be on the old maternity leave. He was building a sports bar. And so now he's got a sports book. Maybe Nate will go over there and bet in it. Nate, I've talked to you so much about your prediction. I know how you feel about this thing. I guess I'm just trying to find out today. Does anybody got the butterflies? Is anybody changing their mind 2 hours out? I mean, again, the defense, like Scotty said, is still the defense. We're hearing from some Patriot fans this morning about you guys are way too confident about this thing. Saturday Night Live weighs in with a mock-up, mocking the Broncos and all that. You still feeling okay? You still feeling like a steady TD is coming?
Yeah, nothing changed from Friday, dude. Like, the Broncos are going to have to win this game on the strength of their defense and the strength of clock management and game management by Sean Payton, and if they do all those little things, they can absolutely win. I give them a 50-50 shot, and I got Denver winning this game 24-22 on a Borregales missed field goal at the end. So I haven't changed on all that, but this is going to be a close game, man. This is going to be a long 3 hours for Bronco fans.
All right, Brett Kane, I believe you were the only one, and maybe I'll just label it as guts. It had the guts to pick the Patriots over the Broncos on Friday. Do you still feel the same?
Was I really the only one?
I believe so, yeah. We're all hey, a lot of Kool-Aid at the station.
Yeah,
we were hitting the old Gatorade jug.
Bunch of homers, man.
Lots of Jim Jones happening.
This is what I said, though, when I said what I said on Friday, that I think the Patriots are going to win, I also couched that, so I'm not that much of a brave soul, with I could see 100 different ways that the Broncos can win this game. Like, this does not feel like the typical backup quarterbacks in, just throw caution to the wind, your team's going to stink. I mean, they got a real shot because I don't think they're built off of amazing quarterback play. They're built off of, like, 2.5 minutes of amazing quarterback play, and I think that's something where Stidham can be fine. But you just give me, like, you play this game 100 times, do the Broncos win more than 50? I don't think so. I think the Patriots would win the majority of it because they're a complete and well-rounded team that I think this is just one of those things that we do with quarterbacks, by the way, concerning Drake May. We don't believe the guy is actually the guy until he does it. It doesn't mean that he's not, though. Like, we all kind of said that when Peyton Manning was going through his sort of bumps and bruises early in his career. It's like he can't win the big game, and then he won a bunch of big games. So he's like going to finish second in the MVP vote. I trust it. I think he's a really good player. He leads the league in completion percentage while leading the league in yards per attempt. Like, he's accurate downfield with the football. This is going to be a game where if the defense doesn't play like it did 6 to 7 weeks ago, and it plays like it did 2 and 3 weeks ago, yeah, 6-7. Thank you, Nate. I only have a 3.5-year-old. We aren't on the 6-7 thing yet. But
good for you. Good for you.
It's too late. It's already over. You missed it.
But that's why I just think, look, more often than not, I think the Patriots win this game, but I think the Broncos easily can.
So, Brett Kane on Drake May, and I know this because I did this last year with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Hey, they can't win it. They aren't built that way. They're not there yet. And, of course, they just did what they did all regular season and continue to do that in the postseason into the NBA Finals and won the whole dang thing. But on the flip side of this, Drake May has not been in many big spots on the road. Road wins for Drake May were at non-loud buildings like Miami, New Orleans, Tennessee, Tampa, Cincy without Burrow, Baltimore when they were a dumpster fire, I think without Lamar, and then at the New York Jets.
He played that game, but he was really banged up.
The one game that he did win was early when Buffalo was struggling on October 5th at Buffalo. Was a good Drake May performance in a big spot. He has looked at times to me like the moment seems big. In the late season Bills game at home that he lost 35-31, he got the football back after Josh Allen drove the length of field. He looked like a quarterback that the moment was real, right? It was real.
Yeah.
Do you believe in Drake May on the road at Empower Field in this moment?
I don't not. It's the way I put it. But basically, and I get exactly what you're talking about because I have my own questions about it too. Can he handle this moment in an environment like this? But the thing is, he hasn't had the chance to do it yet, and it feels like a lot of people are erring on the side of, well, then he can't. And I go, but he's never really had the opportunity yet, you know? And that's where I can't even factor that into it because I think it could go either way.
All right, guys, we got much of breaking news as you're going to get on a game day. Troy Franklin is inactive today. Michael Bandy is inactive today. Elijah Moore is up. Looks like he might be a part of this thing. How does this affect things? We have not seen Elijah Moore at all. And, again, I guess who's our guy? The Loner? Caleb Loner was not put back on the roster again, so he can't be in the middle. By the way, Alex Forsythe is inactive today as well. So a couple of notable names in there. That must mean that Wattenberg's definitely going to go. That means that who was our guy last week that was a backup center? He's back in play again.
That'll be
who came in late.
Mustafer.
Mustafer's in there.
Of the University of Notre Dame.
Is there a chance that, Sean Payton loves to shock people. Is Elijah Moore going to be the deep ball guy all of a sudden today with Troy Franklin down? Or is this just speak to an even bigger Marvin Mims day than what we thought? And also, I guess one other note we have to make, hey, that means Pat Bryant's playing as well, Nate.
Yeah, no, he's good to go, which is kind of stunning to me. But Pat Bryant's going to play. Elijah Moore, I think, becomes your deep threat. It's got to be another big Marvin Mims game. It's good New England secondary, man. Christian Gonzalez he's going to man up Cortland Sutton, and that's going to be the matchup to watch out for today. So this is going to be interesting, man. And it's like how quickly can Stiddy find the rhythm and the chemistry and the timing and everything else that he needs? That's the part of it that we have no friggin' idea.
Krecker, if Jarrett Stidham is rhythmic, does play at a high level, is there another Denver sports icon that you could compare what Stidham will ultimately be in the coming 2 weeks?
Ooh. Wow. Like what to comp him to in Denver?
Brett's thinking too.
Yeah. Whoo. I mean, who was just a complete out of no? I don't know.
Jalen Pickett.
Jalen Pickett. There you go.
Hunter Tyson. I don't know.
Peyton Watson for the Jokic-less
We've been watching
Nuggets.
it with the Nuggets,
Yeah.
That is a great call, though. And I'm trying to think in playoff scenarios. Like I said, you guys, none of you remember this, but Gary Kubiak came in for John Elway in the 91 championship at Buffalo. They ultimately lost, but Kubes played a pretty good game. I'd mentioned it earlier. That was a game where poor David Treadwell could not find a way to hit a field goal, or the Broncos might have gone on and got whooped in another Super Bowl in the 90s. Boy, who is a backup playoff hero? Maybe Stidham gets to be the first of his kind.
Well, I mean, it would be unprecedented because there's never been an athlete whose success immediately leads to the opening of a brand new Stiddy bar in town.
Right.
That is also something that we do know has never happened, to my knowledge.
Brett. Boy, I had a question that I just lost because you're rolling out the Stiddy bar comment again.
Hold on.
I didn't expect that to happen.
Andy, Cargo in 2009, when he had the really good series against the Phillies, he'd only been up for a couple of months.
Well,
I know they lost that series.
Who was the closer? What about the closer in 2007?
Houston.
It wasn't Houston Street. It was the new guy.
Not Brian Fuentes, was it?
No. I'm trying to remember who closed it out. They had the young fireball thrower. There was a closer that came in and closed out a few games.
Was it Manny Corpus?
It might have been Corpus. Yeah, I believe so. Manny Corpus. That might be as close as you're going to get, baby.
He held a.
Well, I mean, again, everybody.
How about this though? Manny Corpus held a .87 postseason ERA for the Rockies in 10 1/3 innings pitched, most electrifying innings in Rockies history.
Hey, Nate, what about the Dragon Slayer, Josh Fogg? Nate and Brett, Brett, do you remember the Josh Fogg Dragon Slayer story from 2007? Because he kept staring down aces. He kept beating aces on everybody else's staff. Josh Fogg barely hung on to be on the playoff roster. And next thing we know, he's taken down the ace of the Phillies and the ace of the D-backs.
Brandon Webb.
Yeah, so they were calling him,
down.
Dragon Slayer. Can Jarrett Stidham be this town's Dragon Slayer and take down a possible MVP?
He could. You know what's really sad is that the entire time when I had that puzzled look on my face, I was trying to find somebody from this year's Rockies roster that was a no-name, and then I realized I was just naming all of the starters.
It's the team.
But can he do it? Yeah. If I ask you guys, best case scenario for Jarrett Stidham, because this is what we talked about on our show. If I can guarantee you that he has 3 touchdowns or 0 turnovers, what would you take?
I want 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, 3 tutties.
Okay. I want 3 touchdowns.
Points. Yeah, points are ideal. Yeah.
That's actually my prediction is that Stiddy City will be opening up right next to Shotgun Willie's after a 3 touchdown performance for Jarrett Stidham. Did I not say that on headlines?
Yeah.
Correct.
There's one thing.
Stiddy Bar Row.
Stiddy Bar Row.
There's one thing I just don't see. I don't see them winning this game if they lose the turnover battle. And I know that's like the most basic football thing you can say or whatever, but I go back to last week, and it's like one less turnover. If they only force 4 from Buffalo, like you probably don't win the game.
The Bills were better in every metric in that game, Brett.
Yeah.
Every metric except turnovers. That was it. Yeah.
We're getting a bunch of so Pavel Francouz in the Avs Cup run.
That's nice.
Oh, he was really great in the first series.
Yeah, he was.
He shut down Nashville.
Yeah.
Nashville had no idea how to beat Pavel Francouz, so that's a good comp.
Frankie's a good pull.
Yeah, look, man, it's here's the thing though. The reason why I remain confident this morning about this game is that I witnessed 2015, and Nate, I know you covered it. I don't think Brett was in town just yet, but
not quite.
Is this not how we felt? Look, the way you feel about not knowing what the offense is going to do today, I drove to the stadium to cover that game not having any idea if the Broncos were going to have touchdowns or not from Peyton Manning and that offense. And
I suppose the one difference is in 2015, I knew the offense stunk.
That's true. Yes.
That's the thing is today, in the very least, there's the unknown. And, like Brett, I like the way you put it. Bo Nix just has to be good for 2.5 minutes. Like,
yeah.
What's the 2.5 minutes that Stiddy is going to be good, or does that 2.5 minutes exist, or is it 4 or 5 minutes? We don't know the answers to those questions because the guy just hasn't played football in a really long time. I mean, I do know this. The last time that we watched him in regular season action, not preseason action, when he could simply drop back and get the ball out to a first read, he was perfectly efficient. When Jarrett Stidham had to start processing, and this is no fault of his own, he just hadn't played much football, it got shaky back there. And if New England has him befuddled and thinking twice and patting the football too much, he could be in trouble. That's where Sean's got to get him the easy buttons, get him those swing passes, get the ball to the guys in space, and hope they break tackles.
I don't want to
burp the baby.
Yeah.
I don't want to go like this. Was what's so bizarre. The amount of times I thought I was just becoming a miserable older father of 2 thing in the middle of this year because every Monday the Broncos would win. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But every Monday the Broncos win. I go in there. I'm like, I hated that game. Like every time I did that. And it's like, what was the purpose? The purpose was the defense played great. The offense was bad until it had to be good, and they were good. What makes me concerned about this, the defense is not playing nearly as good as they were early in the year. And I don't know if that game plays out the same way that we've seen every week pretty much this year. Can Stidham do that in the last 3-4 minutes of the game? Because I know Bo can. If you gave me Bo Nix in this game, there's no doubt I'm picking the Broncos to win, just because I would have confidence late in the game that they can make something happen. I don't know if Stidham can do it, and the defense isn't playing like they were 2 months ago.
See, that's what's crazy. We have hope that maybe the offense will be a little more consistent for 3 quarters with Stiddy in there because
I know
it just hasn't been, and yet there's no way. I mean, Brett, what is so amazing about what you're talking about there, Nate and I talked about it this week, Bo Nix is he's easily one of the top 3 last-minute, 2-minute, fourth-quarter quarterbacks in the league already. Now, again, it's kind of nutty how it doesn't always stay that way throughout the first 3 quarters of a game.
Or ever.
But if he's got a shot at the end of the game, you're screwed. He's gonna finish you off. He's going on. That's what we know. So the Broncos need to avoid that somehow a little bit, and I guess we'll just see if they can do it. This is the weirdest. This may go down as one of the weirdest AFC championships I've ever been around. Because even like Nate said, we did know that the Broncos, again, we were elated they got the 2 early touchdowns to Owen Daniel the last time. Because, heck, they were having trouble doing any of that. Frankly, when they went down and actually moved the ball to start the Super Bowl, we were excited. I remember Dave Logan going, well, this is already off to a better start than the Seattle one where you snap the ball over Manning's head.
Well, if you think this is weird, which would be
wait till we get to a Super Bowl?
A Darnold Stidham Super Bowl.
Oh, my gosh.
That'd be the old Darnitty Bowl. And I'm ready for the Darnitty.
All right, boys, final predictions. Nate up first. Give me your final prediction.
24-22, Denver.
Brett?
24-17, Patriots.
All right, everyone's sticking. We're all going chalk.
It's all negative Nebraska energy, and luckily I have my good friend over my left shoulder, and it's the world's most interesting man. The Dos Equis man is here, and what could go wrong when you have that kind of companionship?
Brett, he says, you sure you want to stick with that, Brett? You sure? Look in my eyes.
No. The answer is
All
no.
right.
I could say literally any prediction. I'm like, don't feel good about it. Have no idea.
All right, well, I know this. You can listen to this whole lineup come Monday. Well, I guess that's tomorrow, right? I got to remember, it's not Saturday this week. We're all going to be talking about this all day tomorrow.
The
no matter
Broncos!
what. And it starts with Brett Kane
Hey,
at 6 in the morning.
Kaner, before you sign off, can we get your very best Jim Nance Broncos call?
I can only do one Jim Nance impression. It's because he said it to me at the buffet line in Los Angeles. Are you ready?
Please.
Mac and cheese, huh? That's all he said to me.
You can't give us one. The Broncos! Come on, just one.
That was good,
Just
though.
I
one.
don't got that. I got a few. I can do a Birdo.
All right.
Tonight.
Or whatever, yeah.
Here's what we're going to need before we get to the Super Bowl in that real world house. You're going to have to be a little less lame. Good night, boys. We'll talk to you a little bit more tomorrow. All right, there they go. Brett Kane, Nate Kreckman. We appreciate everybody jumping on. By the way, we are live at Stoneys in Lincoln for pregame. Stick around for the viewing party. Come by and watch the AFC Championship game with the best crowd outside of Mile High. And this place is already packed, and we're still a couple hours away. But you know what? Packed is not always completely packed, as we learned last week. Get on in here. There's room for you. There's prizes we'll give away at the half. You can register to win a Steve Atwater helmet. Fantastic food here. Get on in. Plenty of room for everybody.
Man.
And by the way, we would also want to let you know that we've got Westwood 1's coverage of the AFC Championship game coming up. Kickoff at 1, pregame at noon. It's all brought to you by our friends. A great place to go shopping for a car. Johnson Auto Plaza. I've actually met the owner of Johnson Auto Plaza at Roach's wedding.
Might be in the-
Experience the
might
power
be
of
in the-
Stop, I'm doing a read. Experience the power of the plaza. Johnson Auto Plaza in Brighton and johnsonautoplaza.com. Go ahead now.
I might be visiting Johnson Auto Plaza here pretty
Yeah,
soon
you and
with
me.
some of
You
the
and I.
transmission
Hey,
issues
with
that we
the
have.
Ford issues?
Oh,
You're
yeah.
going to have to pay to shut me up for it. All right. Anyway, we'll talk to you. We're going to wrap up our AFC Championship game coverage, pregame coverage right after this on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. We're rocking out here at Stoneys. Come join us, 11th and Lincoln, the place you want to be. Remember, coming up here, top of the hour, we've got Westwood One's coverage of the AFC Championship game starting at noon. Kickoff just after 1. It's all presented by our friends at Johnson Auto Plaza. Experience the power of the plaza at Johnson Auto Plaza in Brighton and johnsonautoplaza.com. Thank you to our friends at Tullamore Dew for getting another watch party put together. We're going to be giving away prizes at the half. Come join me. I'm going to hang out here for the first half of the game. We're going to watch the game, and hopefully the Broncos are going to have a big lead because I got to run home at the half after we give away these prizes, and I got to get in TV clothes and get on over to the Altitude TV studio. And don't forget to join us for postgame on Altitude Sports Radio on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch tonight, immediately following the NFC Championship game. So we've got both champion. You were gonna hear the Super Bowl matchup decided on Altitude Sports Radio. Then we're going to talk more football. By the way, if you missed it, you got the Avs game going on now. You can listen to that. I believe that's on 950. And there's no Nuggets game, unfortunately, to listen to anymore. It's going to be our sister station mix, but they canceled the game. They postponed the game because again, I know Scotty made the joke about it, and I do understand 4 inches of snow. We all laugh at him out there. But, Mike, you've spent some time in the South. The ice gets so thick. They were talking about 3 inches or more of ice.
And the reason it gets
that
thick,
destroys power lines and makes roads impassable.
Also, just from a road standpoint, they're just not built from an infrastructure standpoint to be ready for any of it.
Yeah.
So of course, snow or sleet turns into ice, and then if it stays cold, there's nothing to break it up. You don't have
nothing you can
the
do.
salt and
they don't have sand trucks ready to go out and do all that stuff.
So
no Nuggets game today. All right, only got a couple of minutes. Final prediction. What you got here?
Yeah, I actually believe that the Denver Broncos offensively are going to look good today. I think there's going to be some flow and some rhythm to it, and I absolutely love Bo Nix, the closer, but there are times where Bo Nix, the highly caffeinated brand of quarterback play, doesn't always acquit itself well in quarters 2 and 3 until that big moment where he's up for it. I actually think that Jarrett Stidham's going to be a nice little calming, even kind of smooth presence that's going to lead to really rhythmic offensive football. I think Sean Payton's going to have a fun time calling the game. I actually think the Broncos are going to win this game 31-24.
Wow.
And I think that Stidham's going to be responsible for 3 touchdowns. I'm not 100% whether it's going to be 2 touchdowns through the air and 1 through the ground. Strangely, I just envision Jarrett Stidham scoring a rushing touchdown today. And I think the Broncos are going to hold a lead and win the football game by way of a good, balanced attack on the offensive side of the ball and end up getting it done on the defensive side of the ball, holding on when you need to.
I've been adjusting my score around. I had fun with them getting a safety. I'm going to say this. I think it's a 20-16 game. I think the Broncos will enjoy a 4-point lead thanks to a failed 2-point conversion near the end because Josh McDaniels and Mike Vrabel gamble when they shouldn't. And that the Broncos, at the end of the day, will be taking the kneel down in victory formation as they head off to the Super Bowl. But I think the Broncos score early. I think that Sean Payton gets a couple of touchdowns in the first half early, and then they add a couple field goals in the second, and ultimately his advantage of the unknown early in the game is what will power them.
I like that.
And the defense does their thing towards the end. Drake May gets sacked a few times. They turn him over, and the Broncos, we'll see. I think it's Broncos-Rams, and we get the old family party out there at the Super Bowl. Thank you to Mike Sanford. Thank you to Nicole Smith. Thank you to our promotion staff. And thank you to Mark Springer. Kevin Shockey is the program director, executive producer, all that kind of stuff here at Altitude Sports Radio. Again, shout out to the folks at Johnson's Auto Plaza. They bring you the coverage that's ahead next of the championship games on Westwood One. We'll all talk to you about what happens today, tomorrow. Good night, all. It's Altitude Sports Radio 92.5.